Hello everyone, welcome back to another What If video. On the last part, we saw how Cell actually was able to come back and why he did, with some interesting developments. By training with Gohan in the time chamber for the remaining 3 hours before the tournament, Cell was able to get exponentially stronger, as well as unlock Kaioken in his new golden form. Gohan got much stronger as well, now being the second strongest on the team behind Goku before the tournament starts. His time with Gohan, while not making him completely trustworthy, allows Gohan to at least get him to cooperate for the time being. Now it's time for us to get into the tournament itself. With everything in place, the tournament begins. Everything remains the same for the most part, with Cell hanging back like Frieza. Similar to when he was imperfect, I feel he'd try to strike with his tail to absorb energy to weaken foes and become stronger, non-lethally of course, and he'd do this in a very sneaky manner. His strategy would be fighting an opponent, then striking them with his tail when they least expect it, in order to win and absorb their power, which he'd use against various fodder fighters on the side to slowly increase his power. Things start to change when Goku is fighting Caulifla, and Kale turned into her legendary Super Saiyan form. While Kale is distracted by Goku and charging towards him, Cell uses his Namekian DNA to stretch his tail towards Kale when she's not expecting it, and he stabs her in the leg, starts slowly draining her power, and then suddenly, she falls out of her legendary Super Saiyan form. Not only does this give Cell a massive increase in power, but the fact that he's tiring out Kale will be pretty helpful for later, and you probably know what I mean. Cell fights more and more, and he further utilizes his golden form, since his regeneration and Saiyan DNA give him an advantage Frieza never had when training with this form, and eventually he's able to start using it more and more. Not much changes after this part of the tournament. The next few episodes remain the same. Krillin, Tien, and Roshi are knocked out like normal. Here's when Goku makes the Spirit Bomb. And it's still the same with Cell giving energy like Frieza did, as well as healing him after Ultra Instinct similar to what Frieza did. Since it goes pretty similar to normal, let's just move on to the next part. After this point in the original show, Cabba gets assaulted by Frieza because he's targeted for being a Saiyan. This time, Cell is there instead of Frieza, and Cell wouldn't really have a reason to target him for being a Saiyan. Cell smirks and realizes that Cabba's Saiyan power will be perfect for him to absorb, and he non-lethally stabs Cabba with his tail to take his energy. Cell knocks Cabba off the stage, and he goes towards Caulifla and Kale. Kale is a lot more tired and weak in this timeline. Caulifla of course is still tired out as well, and Cell sees this as the perfect opportunity to strike. Caulifla almost has her stamina back, but she starts fighting Cell anyways and is losing badly once Cell unleashes his golden form. With all the power he's absorbed, he's able to maintain this form a lot more easily now. Gohan notices Cell power up and thinks he might be in trouble, and since he doesn't want to lose another fighter, he rushes over to help him. He finds Cell and Caulifla fighting, and when Caulifla notices Gohan, she gets worried that now it's going to be a 2-on-1 battle, so she yells at Kale to get out that thing that Champa gave her before, and she pulls out the Patara. As a last resort, they fuse into Kefla, a much weaker Kefla. Impressed by this newfound power that he's never seen, he walks towards her with the intention to fight, but a hand is thrown in front of him to stop him. It's Gohan, and he looks at Cell. "Go off with the others. I'll take care of her." Similar to the manga, we get to see Gohan versus Kefla. Since Gohan is much stronger in this timeline, and also like in the manga, Kefla is a lot weaker because Caulifla and Kale are both very tired out from their fights and from Cell absorbing Kale's energy. This also means that Goku doesn't get Ultra Instinct for the second time, which will become important later. I feel Gohan would win this fight, with some struggle of course, because of a few reasons. Because he's a lot stronger and Kefla is a lot weaker, I feel he'd be able to knock her out, and it wouldn't be a double knockout. Gohan would still remain on the stage, so he doesn't get knocked out like in the manga. After the fight, he falls back to Piccolo in order to rest up a bit, and after this, everything is pretty much normal. Universe 2 and 6 get erased almost exactly like the original, Piccolo and 18 get knocked out, and Universe 3 creates Anaraza. The only difference being Cell is there to add to the beam struggle, in his golden form, which he's starting to gain control of. He's almost completely stopped using Kaioken at this point. While it was helpful earlier in the tournament against some fodder fighters, the power he gains from Golden means it can be used much more easily, and it boosts his power more than Kaioken with only having slightly worse stamina drain. He doesn't have the mastery that Frieza had with True Golden, but he still massively improved his use of it due to his strategy of fighting. Absorbing energy not only gives him more power, but from all the fighting and regeneration, he's gotten a couple little Zenkai boosts which he keeps abusing. He tests something against Aniraza that he saw Goku do. His golden glow turned into a more orange color as he tries to stack Kaioken onto his golden form. Although it's only Kaioken times 4, it gives a good enough boost to help defeat Aniraza. This immense untrained power nearly rips Cell apart, but Anaraza is defeated before Cell's arms literally fly off his body from all the stress, as well as the power of his Kamehameha. While he's kinda injured now, he has his regeneration to help heal him, which means he has a drop in ki for a bit, but over time he'll heal better than most of the other fighters can, as well as gain a good Zenkai from this. Everything remains mostly similar until episode 124. Instead of Frieza fighting Dispo, Cell is. Dispo speeds up and Cell starts to lose ground, but Cell has a plan similar to what Tien did in the beginning of the tournament. He produces 4 Cell Juniors to fight him, who are less durable than Cell, but still equal in strength. Before Dispo can achieve its maximum speed, all the Cell Juniors grab Dispo's limbs and hold him in place. "Not so fast now, are you?" Cell taunts Dispo just before he knocks him off the stage. With Dispo being knocked out by Cell, Gohan's still in the tournament, but Topo notices that Dispo is knocked out and is angered by Cell's unjust way of fighting. "We are warriors of justice, but if you won't fight for justice, then why should I?" Topo transforms into his God of Destruction mode. He beats up Cell like he does to Frieza, and it's pretty much the same but with 17 working with Gohan to save him instead, so Cell doesn't get knocked out. Vegeta still fights Topo as normal, and he knocks him out with his final explosion. Jiren fights Goku and 17 also like normal, with Gohan joining in, but it has a similar outcome. Due to Cell's healing, he gets up a lot faster than Frieza did, and he joins in as well. Jiren launches his blast to everyone from Universe 7, with 17, Cell, and Gohan protecting the tired Goku and Vegeta. Jiren puts more power into it and he begins to win, but 17 puts more barriers up. When he says he's sacrificing himself, Cell responds to this by telling 17 to hold off. He tells 17 to place barriers around himself and Gohan instead, and before 17 can even respond, Cell stops firing his beam and he begins to inflate. They all know Cell is going to explode instead, since he will be able to survive it unlike 17 who might not be able to come out of it, even if it does put him out of commission for a while as he has to regenerate. Cell is now ready to explode, and he gives a countdown of 3. When the countdown reaches 3, 17 shields himself and Gohan, alongside with Goku and Vegeta, tossing up more and more shields. Since their beams dropped, Cell takes the brunt of Jiren's blast, causing him to explode instantly and nullifying the blast. While he's still alive, he does need to regenerate. On top of that, Universe 11 thinks he's dead, so this will be a little helpful for later because they think they're down a fighter now. With Goku and Vegeta still resting, 17 and Gohan challenge Jiren. Jiren quickly beats down 17 and Gohan, with him first blasting out 17 to avoid him from using his shields again. Before Jiren can set his sights on Gohan, Goku gets up instead of Vegeta to try to fight him one last time. He tries to access Ultra Instinct, but without having done it against Kefla, he's only barely able to do it this time. Being weaker without that second trial of Ultra Instinct, Goku can't finish the job. He doesn't get the boost in power that he got afterwards from the second time he used it, and this time he's only an Omen instead of mastered Ultra Instinct. And while I said he doesn't finish the job, he's still able to give Jiren a pretty good fight. At first he starts to dominate Jiren, but then over time, Jiren starts to power up. Even Ultra Instinct Omen has a hard time against Jiren, and he puts up a good fight and has weakened Jiren a considerable amount. However, Omen fades during the fight, and this is Jiren's opportunity. Goku is launched off the stage, shocking everyone. Similar to Vegeta, when he flies off, he lends his remaining energy to Gohan, since Gohan's in the best shape of the 3 people remaining. Goku yells to Gohan to finish this and save the universe. He knows there's more power in Gohan. Since Gohan still had a decent amount of energy remaining, this nearly healed him to full power, and Gohan got back up. This ki from Goku does much more than just heal him, and it's just what he needed. Gohan begins to feel an odd power rising inside of him. Similar to Goku and Vegeta before, Gohan's eyes begin to change into a more glossy color. This isn't Ultra Instinct or Blue Evolution, however, but something completely different. Since this tournament is all about breaking limits, as well as Gohan mentioning he wanted a new form, he's done just that. Like Super Saiyan 2 and Ultra Instinct, Gohan got a little catalyst to unlock something he's had a small amount of for a while, but he could never access: God Ki. I made a poll on Instagram and I saw 76% of people say Gohan should get a new form, since he's not only much more powerful in this timeline, but he also wanted to obtain some new form during the tournament as it was teased before. However, some people said they'd rather see Gohan earn his form, so I'm going to make a little bit of a compromise here. Gohan is merely getting a taste of this power, and he's not being granted a new form out of the blue. Allow me to explain. By being around people like Goku, Vegeta, and even Topo, Gohan was able to pick up a little bit of God Ki on his own. The energy Goku gave him acted as a sort of catalyst, sort of how the Spirit Bomb worked with Ultra Instinct, and the God Ki is absorbed into his ultimate form. As a different path from the Super Saiyan forms, let's call this Ultimate God. However, this isn't a complete transformation since he doesn't have mastery over God Ki like the others. As of now, this Ultimate God form is only temporary, but it grants a tremendous increase in power, like Goku when he first got God Ki. Eventually, like Ultra Instinct and Super Saiyan God, it would end up wearing off though. And Gohan realizes this, so he wants to finish this fight as quick as possible. But it's not enough. The newly awakened power is fleeting without his mastery of God Ki. Even though Jiren was weakened heavily by Goku, and Gohan has this massive buff, he comes ahead, as Gohan can't grasp onto this power without the mastery of God Ki. Again, similar to when Goku both got Ultra Instinct and Super Saiyan God. Jiren is now at full power, and he charges up a blast towards Gohan. It's over. He fires the blast and Gohan tries to repel it, but is losing ground as his form begins to fade into his normal ultimate form. A beam joins him, and he sees a weakened Vegeta standing next to him firing a Gallic gun. Since he didn't challenge Jiren, he had more than enough time to recover, and he's barely able to maintain Super Saiyan 2. Together they fire a Gallic Kamehameha and match Jiren's beam for a bit, but they can't keep up for long. Suddenly, Jiren is grabbed from behind by someone. Cell? He finally regenerated with a massive power boost now, but he can't hold him for long or take him out himself, even with his huge Zenkai allowing him to use Golden Kaioken times 10. Just like how Vegeta's distraction allowed Gohan to finish off Cell originally, Cell's distraction now is going to allow him to finish off Jiren. In a sudden surge of power, Gohan and Vegeta power up again, with Vegeta phasing in and out of blue in a desperate final attempt to push Jiren back. Jiren is slowly pushed back, but Gohan knows their power is draining, so he launches himself towards Jiren as good measure, while firing his Kamehameha. Like in the original, a weakened Jiren is tackled out of the ring, except by Gohan and Cell, with all three of them being pushed farther back by Vegeta's Gallic gun. The two who once fought over the fate of the Earth, now are saving the universe together. The Grey, the Hybrid Saiyan, and the Bio-Android fall into the void. Vegeta is left alone on the stage, and falls to his knees as he powers down. The winner of the tournament is the Prince of all Saiyans, Vegeta, of Universe 7. The prideful prince has kept his promise and won the tournament for Bulma, Kaba, and yes, even you, Kakarot. Sorry to reference that scene, I just love it a lot. Of course, Vegeta ends up wishing all the other universes back, since he was going to wish Universe 6 back, so he may as well wish everyone back. Much to everyone's surprise, like with Frieza, Whis revives Cell. But no one is worried. They know they've gotten much stronger during the tournament, and if Cell becomes an issue, they can take him out easily. I feel some may not agree with the outcome, but I think it fits well. The whole tournament is about breaking limits, and Gohan did tease a new form, so it wouldn't be really out of the ordinary to see him get it, especially when he's stronger in this scenario. Alongside this, the massive increase in power that Gohan and Cell received was more than enough to take out a weakened Jiren, because remember, Ultra Instinct Goku did beat him down pretty good, just until he powered up fully. Similar to my reasoning about Gohan fighting Kefla, all of the reasons work together here in order to make it so that Gohan, Cell, and Vegeta can finally knock Jiren off. Now with this part over, I want to hear some input from you guys. What happens with Cell next? There's so many things that could happen, so what will it be? Is he killed off? Would the events of Broly even happen? Would he take over Frieza's empire? Does Gohan train again to earn the ultimate god form? Let me know below and let me know your thoughts on this video. I would like to continue this, but I need to see your thoughts first because I don't really know how to integrate the Broly arc into it. I just want to see what the popular opinion is first before I go towards that. As for the Moro arc, it's not finished yet, but when it is, this might not have any effect at all, but we'll end up seeing. Only time will tell what comes of this. But of course, if there's a way to integrate Cell into this, then I will continue this story. Thank you all for watching, and have a good one.